Hey, another video on Blue Still. I keep screwing up the editing, so um, I'll jump right into this. I just played my locals, and if you don't want to know the ending of this, mute the video, watch it silently. But I'll tell you, it is a nice 2-0 win versus a red purple player, someone who plays at my local that we've just been sort of screwing it out and playing the games. Sort of all of us are getting ready for store champs, and I just thought I'd record the game and bring the footage back and just talk through it as it sort of plays in the background. Um, yeah, like I say, it's a nice. I lost the die roll as well in this game, and yeah, it was a nice bit of practice, and it was pretty good. Um, Leading up to store champs, which will be starting next weekend. Something else I was going to mention. Yes, sorry. As I say, this is gameplay is sort of on the spot. I might not be doing the same things that I say in theory. I might misplay. I might be sort of thinking, oh, I know they do a particular play, or I know they have a particular set of cards. So the mulligan might change, but that's just all the situationless of just playing card games in general. Hopefully, though, there's some good stuff in here. So I'll click start, and from the mulligan, I'm actually able to get that all in camera. Some good cards in there, but of course, nothing we really need right now. And yes, I send the whole six back, keep a popsicle. And what we're really looking for is a Smee, even a Baboon will do alright. It's not an amazing hand. The Rise of Titans is alright because we are on the draw. We are basically looking for reactive cards, I think is my synopsis of playing on the draw because I mean Baboon's not great. We'd rather play a Smee. We'd rather just like start attacking the board. But a Baboon or a Rise of Titans also just aren't too bad cards to really get. So yeah, that hand is not looking great, but I think it can form into it. We get a draw, and then we get another force food. We get a popsicle draw, and we can keep drawing, and hopefully we find some better things. There's a whole new world in there. It's a bit too early for that. The dime as well. I believe I might have just put the dime in the discard because it's not that bad getting things in the discard these days because the amount of Tamatoas. Um, but yeah, it's that's all I'm saying, and that's all I'm saying. I can't remember the pace of how I play. Someone said to put these videos on two speed. That wouldn't have been a bad idea. Yeah, but we have got a ample amount of items in the hand, so I think yeah, the call was just to get rid of one of the items. We've got a Baboom in there, so if a Flynn is to come out, we can just react to that. Like I say, a Smee to sort of start developing our board would have been better. Yeah, and I believe we just go to take that thing out. We're getting a lot of uninkable. I think at one point I'm starting to count how many uninkles there are. Um, but yeah, we can't have that Flynn just sitting there gaining lore. So yeah, keep playing on. Believe we've also got ramp on 3, which is nice. That's kind of good for us as well because it looks like they bricked on their draw. But yeah, we sort of just want to hold them out a bit, um, and hopefully we can get to the point where we ramp into something well. In a sense, here we've I want to say this in the worst sense, we've won the board. Well, we kind of have because we've got one thing on the board. Um, but yeah, I believe they go for an early castle play, which I guess is fine. I guess you'd have to know if your opponent's got a Rise of Titans or not, which we do have. But if not, there's no way for me to threaten that. A Zeus hit wouldn't take it out. We haven't won the board hard. We haven't got like our Smees and stuff. But yeah, we go for that. And I believe don't. We don't actually ink. Oh, getting a law though. Because we just need that Hiram, and yeah, I think we're in a bad spot. So two, we do actually ink the Hiram. I'm talking foolishly. I think I remember we go for the just wheel it and just look for more stuff. I think that was our option because we needed the that's that's what that is. You can't tell what their hand is right now. But they've missed quite a lot of key parts. Well, they didn't miss a lot of key parts. They got a Flint and a castle, but because of the way the deck's built, we've got quite a lot of reactions to it. And let's see if I do the right thing now. Yes, which is just the hand sucks. Let's whole new world it. Yeah, they had to be prepared and two friends. I mean, there's nothing really we could have stalled there. We didn't know what they had. I guess playing a Maui on that turn meant they probably didn't have the best hand. So we could have done something else. But the way I looked at it as well is they're not going to be able to gain lore, except for like a goat bounce or whatever. And now we've got a whole fresh hand. We burnt some of their cards. We burnt cards we didn't really need in our hand. The Zeus would have been nice to keep. But we set up another item, and all those items remember help for Tamatoa, and the dime's in the discard, but of course if we've got Tamatoa, that's not too bad. I believe I remember the aerials coming in quite clutch today, and people really thinking it was a good card. And yeah, we've got another rabbit coming in. Oh, we didn't really burn much. We burnt one Be Prepared, and at this point as well, I'm assuming pretty much every RP player has four Be Prepared. So um, I believe in one of the games I burnt two, and I just like really played that out. But they had the other two in the hand. But yeah, right now they haven't gained like an aggressive amount of floor, which is something I find RP likes to do these days. And if they haven't done that, I felt I could like kind of sit back a little bit. Yeah, Ink the Argus, the one-off Argus that I play, um, and just start developing the board, trying to get to ramp, trying to get to a point where I can dime tap things, testing the waters on what like board clear they have as well, because RP has a lot these days, but we have a lot of things that might stick. Of course, B prayer just removes everything, doesn't it? But yeah, developing the hero wasn't that bad. I think for RP when they play Brawl, it's not great, but it's like what have we gone for? Medusa. Medusa on the Smee. I guess in a sense not the best play from them because we get to card draw. Oh, there you go, up to one. Um, but I guess Smee quest for two as well. That's something to take out. Yeah, right. So we quest for one. We start drawing. As I say, their board is quite slow, so you can sort of I wouldn't say take advantage of that, but you can yeah. So we get start to ramping, and we know we can start drawing cards and wheeling and things like that. Yeah, I don't need the broom for this matchup. Yeah, just trying to spread to Hiram here. I mean, like I say, they didn't use the um, Medusa on the Hiram, so we get to capitalize on that card draw. Possibly they just thought the Smee was a little bit more impactful this turn. But he's going to get a lot of work done in for us today, which is good. Got another Rise of Titans for another castle play. Yeah, I guess if you're playing against a BS player and you've seen one Rise of Titans, you might think I can play another one and I'm probably going to be safe. If they double castled here, that would have been painful, but I don't think they had the ink. They did have the ink for it. Uh, to go up to two from them. But as I say, as long as we keep the board sort of a fair amount, we got to count how much they can get a turn. You know how many bounces they have. Um, yeah, but I think it's a really nice spot to be in. And I believe we look for the Tamatoa here. Oh no, we're looking for the castle removal, aren't we? As I said, the Mickey, this is a reason why I quite like the Mickey. He's just sort of sat there getting lore. I think he's gained one so far, and he. No, wait, sorry, the other Mickey did. This one will probably gain one as well. And well, no, we don't think we even quested him because he has a nice protection for um, what's the card called? Be King Undisputed. So even if they'll run everything into the Hiram, take it out, we can still keep the Be King. Um, Yeah, we're setting up the aerial because the aerial is nice just because she can sing and do things. And if we got another dime, that'd be great. Ooh, looks like the Be Prepared came out, which is something you can sort of do with Blue Steel. I wouldn't want to waste it with a dime target. I think I was quite confident there that they didn't have a Be Prepared, just from the way they were playing and the cards in their hand. I don't know. You sometimes just get a hunch as well, and you have to play on a hunch. Um, but they did Be Prepared the boards, which it's kind of sucks we lost the dime target. But what you can do with I think they've just gained a bunch of lore as well, didn't they? When they 1, 2, 3, I think that's correct. What you can do is sort of test the water with the boards, play stuff out, and force them to be prepared. And it's not that bad for you if it's stuff like Tinkerbells and Beasts and stuff and Smees. Um, oh, yeah, there we go. We're setting up the board again. I think maybe that's why we played quite confident because we had a lot of dime targets and with two B preps in. But yeah, you can kind of test the waters, make them do it, and if they spend seven, it sort of skips their turn for them. In a sense, the whole board does get wiped, but they've got to set up their board again, which is quite scary. I think I remember I was saying like, oh, I hope you haven't got the third B prepared, which would be quite painful. But yeah, like I say, you can go through people's removal. Yeah, classic, the old it has warped. Yeah, I just let them replay that because it's fine, it's only casual, and they got the other B prepared out. Um, which kind of sucks that we're going through dime targets for this, but it does mean Tamato might have a better time being set up, which I believe we do go for. Me doing awful, awful maths here. No, this was what I remembered. I believe the player stated that they had two in the discard, and then after playing that one, they said, "Sorry, no, I only had one." So I was playing to the advantage of thinking they had two left. Yeah, this is me just sort of trying to set up the board. I find that Tematoa just played out isn't very good because they'll most likely take it out. And we got a third VPrep. Yes, no, I remember this game quite well now. Um, as I say, it's just sort of stalemate turns where neither of you really get much done. You just sort of keep resetting. And I think we go for the Tamatoa now. And yeah, I believe in my head I was thinking Tamatoa might be the only option we have for dime retrieval. But I also thought just getting the dime into hand, it didn't feel great. If they came back with a Tremaine, we lose. If they don't, we win hard. But yeah, it's quite scary just playing one on board. So we went 2, 4, 6, 8 there. Played one. Yeah. And that also, like I say, it sets up. They will have to have Brawl and Medusa, or Brawl, no, Brawl and Tremaine, or Brawl and what's it called? Be King Undisputed. They'll basically have to deal with both in the most awkward ways. Sorry about the glare. I only noticed after I recorded. For some reason, lighting in this building is like an office space. Like they're all really. When I did the test recording, I told myself put everything on like the eye line of Stitch's eye because it seemed to not glare. But when I played, I didn't do any of that. So really sorry. And they had the exact same card combo. I'm now starting to trying to wish how I won this game. I think the play that came next, yes, is a play I quite like. So we get to double ink because of what's it called? Yeah, because of Bell. But I think in my head I was debating playing a Mickey on that turn as well, just for the more ink. But my thought came up. We have one dime in discard. Automatoas are dying. Um, you know what's uh, what's the chance that Mickey might just take the Tamatoa and then we're in a really bad spot there? No, we got another Tamatoa as well. I believe one of these games, it might be the second one, I had dimes as cards 6 and 7 and the last cards of the deck. And just fiddling with my discard there, I didn't do it right then, but it's always good to check your discard, especially for your dime targets, and try and take note of what you might have inked and what you haven't inked. And putting the coin on the cards as well, just because you play with a giant discard pile, giant ink pile, sorry, and you want to make sure that you sort of when you put your cards down, you don't lose them in the discard, in the ink, sorry. I believe this has a very nice play coming up. But the double Flynn's always scary, of course, when they've got the Sisu that's threatening it. Um, but I believe we came out of a turn without Bell being attacked, which is just really nice. We get the double ink from Bell again. And we do go for the lucky dime because we're just quite worried now. That's our second Tamatoa. If we don't get it then and they deal with it, we're actually out of the game with dimes. We have no way to retrieve them. We'd have to find the other one. I started piling my stuff into fours, so I was just doing the terrible, terrible maths. Yeah, we gained 10 there to go to 13, and then quest out to 15. Oh, I've gone way over there. Um, Yeah, we just did that. I believe we have the other dime target in hand. So yeah, we have a bell in hand. So unless they can win on that turn, I believe I even said, and it was quite a BM thing. Unless you can win on this turn, I've won. And I believe my hand was so small that Sisu wasn't high enough to give them the buff as well. So yeah, that was game one. As I say, you can just go aggressive with the ramping. and just find the answers that way if you're just not winning the board. And by the time we got like three be prepared in, it's like, yeah, we're burnt three prepared, but we're just really not winning the board here. But yeah, no, and we'll go into game two. Okay, I hope this seems a bit more seamless than it will do because I'm terrible at editing. But I take a break between each game. So this is game two, and we lost the die roll one on the draw on the first one. So we go in again on the draw, and I was quite happy to win on the draw because it's just a matchup I feel I really have to lock in for. On the play, I seem quite fine. Even though after this set we played a practice game again, and I lost on the play quite badly. Yeah, I remember. So in this hand, when we did the mulligan, I was meant to hold the Mickey. I drew like two cards and then realized I didn't hold the Mickey, yeah, and I was getting a bit confused because I was like, hold on, I meant to keep something. And there we go, found it. Something you can't do in store champs. Do not do what I just did there. In store champs, they won't let you. It's wrong, but you know, at the time we're sort of friends, and this is our local league, so um, it's just fine. We let people go back on plays like if someone does a Medusa on a war target, you know, it's just sort of how it is. But yeah, I was feeling quite confident going to this. I seem to get in quite a good stride of just getting everything in the inkwell and controlling the board and just keep going for it until we get to the dime setup. But you do have to really think about where your dimes are. Are they in your Discord? Discord? Are they in your Discord? Are they in your discard or are they possibly in your deck? Where are they? They start off with the Magic Broom, which I think is actually quite good in this game because it will give in this matchup it will give you a card. Sorry, it'll give you a card draw. It will give you you know a card draw and lore. I'm not really gonna. It's kind of like Cusco was or still is. I'm not gonna really invest too much in removing it, but also it's just gonna sit there and either gain you lore or give you a card draw. So yeah, I'm just covering it twice there, haven't I? But yeah, the hand wasn't looking too great. We still got the boom for the reactive. We are playing three. There you go. They took the law and then they went for the card draw, which is probably a good idea if your hand's sort of not that good. Otherwise, it can just sit there. I do find an issue with Broom that it has to that condition sometimes can suck. You might be like, I want to draw a card, but I don't want to have to play a character on the board. But you know, it's not bad if you really don't want to miss turn one. It's not too bad either. Uh, Not sure what we're doing right now. Oh, we're trying to pick what to discard, what to ink, and we went for another item. I believe our hand had some items in it, and we just want to keep all the other cards really. Um, yeah, we had the option between Quill or um, Mickey. I think the idea was that we just really wanted to use the Quill because we had the Porpsicle. So what we can do is the ink the oh, yep, ink what would we draw? I believe I go for the Cogsworth, and in my head the idea was that for Cogsworth the Hardhead Beast can trade with more. Uh, you know, I don't think that particularly matters too much. All it's really going to do is be a 5-drop that sings. But 4 damage on a castle, 4 damage on anything, that's all great to me in my opinion. So we kept that instead of the Cogsworth. The resist isn't too much, especially if we didn't even develop a Smee as well. Um, so yeah, I don't think that was too bad to go for. But yeah, they're starting to aggressively gain lore. They had the almost the perfect combo of, and that's kind of funny. You see in the first game they had Flynn, no Sisu castle. In this game they've got Flynn, Sisu, no castle. Oh no, actually, sorry, they inked the castle because they just had to. Their hand was so sort of full up, and I was quite happy about that play. Because yeah, this matchup that I said that castle probably would have been the thing that would have beaten me, and she mentioned that yeah, I'd had to have just inked past turn. So there's probably a debate of just passing turn. I don't know. I guess because I was going to be so aggressive, yeah, with how I play and set up all these things like that. I'm going to start putting things in the inkwell. Probably Holy World it. Might even have a Titans. So like, you know, ink. Sometimes you just got to ink, haven't you? Uh, what do they go for now? Another rabbit. I mean, yeah, it's quite hard playing into blue steel because there's a lot of do I need to get card draw or do I want to hold my cards, especially if you're expecting a whole new world. But a blue steel player will usually look for that. God, that glare is really bad, isn't it? And they'll be like, okay, the player's playing a bit safe. We can maybe hold our whole new world. And then they're like, okay, they might think he doesn't have a whole new, or they don't have a whole new world. What I'll do then is I'll just draw cards, and then you go, okay, burn them. with whole new world. So there's a bit of sort of double bluffing and bluffing of whole new. I think, especially for players who get quite scared of it. I think what we were trying to figure out if we could quest for one there, get in on the board. I think yeah, what we were trying to do is set up the bell and play the whole new world, but my maths is so bad that I was trying to figure it out. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, but I believe if we play the bell, yeah, we get the extra ink there, which means we can hardcast whole new world. Uh, yeah, and now I look so confused in what I'm trying to do because I'm splitting my plays. Yeah, but there's 2, 4, 5. I think we thought if we could set up another item because we were thinking about hammer to a dime, but also I don't think that bell's going to stick around for very long. We can't do much else without that hand, and I'd rather draw 7 cards than I draw one. And it looks like we'd have drawn a Porp School and a Smee if we just played and would have drawn the Porp School and would have played it again and drawn the Smee. And that's not really a hand that can do much for us. We want to be in the aggression. They have quite a nice board actually set up. We might even want to a point where we play enough stuff that it forces them to be prep. They also mentioned that their hand was a lot of uninkables. Now, of course, 2 of them were rabbits, but you have to assume there might be red ladies in there. There might be B preps in there. So it's a good idea, if a player's not inking properly, they're probably not going to tell you in a store champs, unless they really want to for some reason. Um, but it was okay. They've got uninkables because even if they weren't a store champ, so they're inking a cast one for playing a rabbit. The idea is that they probably have uninkables in their hand, so they're good things to burn, in my opinion. Yeah, and take out the Hiram. He's got a play and a draw. It's not bad, I think, in my opinion. That was pretty good. And that's a nice looking board for them. Oh, this is the game where I believe we do a double grab your swords. And I'm excited for it to come up. And can't remember what we have in the hand. But yes, as soon as you draw another whole new world, just quill it. It's the first thing you want to quill. Just if you're thinking about your what's it called? Your ink. Yeah, the hand's not looking too amazing right now. I believe they quested both rabbits. Goes to 8. Probably got the law wrong, guys. Whoever's watching the law, really sorry about that. I'm trying my best with it. So I can't remember exactly what the play is. I believe there's a lot going on with our hands. I'm actually excited myself to see. So we're just going for the double ramp because we just want the ramp. Yeah, that's not a bad play. I mean, yeah, and we've got the double grab of swords in our hand. And I believe that's what we go for next turn. And oh, we took the trade. I don't know if I'd have quested there or traded. I mean, I'm watching myself and saying I don't know what I'd have done. It looks like I traded. I think the idea was that they were getting quite a lot of law, and we just wanted to make sure that I didn't put the coin on my hand like I said I should do. But I think we just didn't want them to run away with it. I think they went to quite a high amount if we let them do that. Um, that's it with Belle. She's ink. She's a dime target, but also she lets you do that extra inking, which I think is quite useful sometimes, especially if you just really want another bit of ink. You're paying 4. You're forcing them to play a removal card. Um, and you get, I mean, you're not forcing them. Them getting a 4/4 and taking out your 2/4 isn't that bad for them. But it's. I think she's got a lot of versatility, and I think that's why I like her quite a bit as one of the um, better dying targets. They've all got their own application, and that's kind of why I can't decide between them really. But yes, we go for a double grab your swords. That's what it is. Remember the person next to me also saying, "I just heard someone play a double grab your swords." Um, yeah, which is pretty good because it resets their entire board. And yeah, we're just quilling down. I believe we have a whole new world in hand, so God, I should really put that coin on their hand, shouldn't I? I think we're just checking to see where the dime is, if we inked the dime at all. No, no, sorry, if we discarded the dime at all, um, and like if we had any Tamatowers in there, because I just forget. I'm not a very good memory person. Um, but yeah, as I say, that's most of that's going to go in England, and I kind of like that they brawled the Hiram instead of anything else. They didn't develop a character. Um, they took it out, and their turn was that and play a castle. So they didn't actually gain any lore that turn. Um, what are we looking for? I believe we look for a Rise of Titans here, and I think in our head it's like, right, we need some Wheel and Rise of Titans. Those are piles of 4, so that's we're trying to count if we can also get value out of this aerial, which we do go for. So yeah, we spend 6 for the aerial. Just because if I think we're down 2 bells, and if we play a if we don't play this one and we just burn it, we've like really lost all of our dime targets there, and we just really needed them. And we did draw into the Rise of Titans. I mean, that's just variables luck. We went down to 2 on Rise of Titans. 3 just felt kind of obnoxious, and I didn't feel like I was performing any better with it. I mean, theoretically, that's not the case because um, so I mean, if you have more of a card, you're just going to draw it more. But I never felt like I did. Possibly, actually in practice, I was drawing one, but I was inking one, so it didn't really matter. I can't really picture it, but 2 has felt like quite the sweet spot for me. Yeah, I remember I was quite happy that we got the Tamatoa, and we're just looking for the dime really at this point, because they went up to quite a lot of lore, and yeah, they start getting to their goat range, or yeah, I mean they can start playing with the goat. And the aerial and threat of a dime is so threatening to an RP player because you can get 10 lore out of nowhere. That's halfway there. It's from basically being nowhere. If you can find the other lore and other means, you're really close. And take the Smee out. I don't blame them too much. Getting things off the board's not bad. That Argus, that white card there isn't Argus. Um, he's not going to do much besides just be a Bee King protection. There we go. I figured out that cards should be in that like center bit so they don't get the glare. Yeah, I believe I checked my discard about 2 or 3 times because I'm just in awe that I haven't drawn a dime. The dime was the 6th and 7th card of my deck when we went for and checked it at the end. Um, 6th and 7th last card, sorry, that is. So we're like, yeah, we'll just keep drawing. They haven't got anything on board. They are bouncing a goat, but what are you gonna do? Yeah, we just take that lore as well. So that's 5, 6 to go to 8, I believe. I can't remember these laws correct. I'm trying to do this very much on the fly, and I'm not very good at it. Believe we're debating a few cards here. Yeah, just get things on the board that will quest then if you can't find the dime. And of course, now that we're scared about the dime, we're not gonna want to play our Mickey because we just don't want to blind ink. Deck's thin. Like if there's 20 cards and you've got 2 dimes left, that's a higher chance that one of those cards from Mickey is gonna be a dime. I don't know if there's 20 cards left, but you know what I mean. If you were to Mickey on turn 3, the odds of it being the dime that gets thrown in is lower because there's more cards in the deck. Yeah, they just take the trade in the aerial. That's just standard. We were just very worried that we wouldn't get any lore at all from it, so we just had to quest with it. I would have liked to keep it unquested. I remember even after thinking that, I thought, oh god, maybe we shouldn't have unquested because they didn't um, remove it with what do you call it? Sorry, when we're gaining the lore. Because they didn't remove it with spell or anything like that. So if we kept it unquested, we could have kept it alive for another turn. We took the goat out. I mean, they gain a lore, but the idea is that they can't bounce it anymore. So I would usually recommend removing a goat because they're probably just going to sit there bouncing it. Uh, Tamatoa. I believe even then on this Tamatoa, we're like, there has to be a dime. I've just missed it every time I've checked my. Yeah, so we go all the way through the pile because it's just there has to be one. No, but another Tamatoa, so okay. I think at this point as well, we're just thinking maybe we want to set up with Tamatoa as like an answer because we can't find a dime. No, and we're so far low on cards, it's not even uh, 2, 3. It's not even a good idea to think about using that whole new world because we could just burn ourselves out. But yeah, that hand's pretty good. I think we're in a really good spot, and because of the power of blue steels ramping, um, we we're so far ahead and we have so many things to do and we can play like 15 ink turns. I was about to ink a broom and I kept it. I think just the thought was I wanted a body on the board, so B King's not going to be as powerful. In hindsight, I should have maybe checked their discard to see how many B Kings there are actually left and how many Tremaines there are left. Because I was aware of what deck they're playing. They'd shown it to me before we started playing, and of course they were both open decks. They knew what I was playing as well. But we're really just looking for a dime to close this out. I believe they were looking for goats and bouncers, and I was looking for a dime. So it was a very close game, really. But say we are we are Blue Steel, and at this later game, we just have a stronger later game, I think, in my opinion, because of how quickly we can gain lore compared to their slow lore gain and just resetting the board with Be Prepared. Um, I believe they didn't find enough Be Prepared in this game. I don't know if they even found one. And that's what we're both debating, that we hadn't found Be Prepared and I hadn't found my dime. So yeah, they might as well just start taking the board apart and see what they can do. I think I don't know if they play a castle here, but even in my head I was thinking if it's a castle, maybe we just race. But the thing is, we have so much ink that we could afford uh, to just play the Rise of Titans and just keep going. Um, yeah, let's say they can't really do much, but we don't actually have any items for that Tamatoa, so the lore gain isn't as powerful as it should be. But of course, he can quest to get one back for us. I can't remember the thought in my head. It might have even just been to uh, to just sing the whole world and look for the dime for the finisher. But then I think it's like, what's the point if um, you're not getting anything from the what do you call it? If you're not getting enough lore from the Tamateur because there isn't enough items out, there's not really any point of whole new worlding. So I believe we look for another. We do the best item draw in the game, which is Tamatoa, get a port back, play the port, Hiram quests, uh, play two, and then we found the dime, which was just a very nice thing. And then the next card in the pile was also a dime. And yeah, we were just very excited to finish that game out there, really, with that lucky dime, and then quest and get it. And that's the fun. I put that meme up the other day of gaining like 11 lore, but how much would that be? That would have been one, two, three, four, and then quest, and that's 8 lore from a Tamato and a dime tap. So yeah, as I said, you could maybe get the gist and the sort of atmosphere that I was playing with. It was just keeping their board in check, making sure they weren't getting that early lore so they could finish out with goats and castles. Keeping the castles in check as well. I managed to get the Rise of Titans every game, and I was very lucky on that. But of course, lean on the fact that you could get a Smee and a Zeus. I'm not saying maybe keep the Zeus in the hand, but you know you're gonna have loads of card draw, and if they get a turn of a Flynn procking or like a turn of a Castle procking, I think that's fine. One or the other, by the way, not both, because that's 5 lore and that's a quarter of the way there. But um, you know, if one turn has to happen, so say maybe they've got a really nice board and a castle, you could spend one turn playing I'll grab your swords and then the next turn playing the Rise of Titans to remove it. But yeah, I hope that game was kind of enjoyable for someone.